Dr. Burns Review, not a doctor. Today we're talking about 3D printed bodies. There's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad, and probably as always, a lot of hot takes and 2 cents. Before we get into any of that, for transparency and crystal clarity, this is not being sponsored, there's no manufacturers in contact with me, there's no affiliate links, I'm not affiliated, and I'm not paid in any way. This is all my time, my money, my rigs, and my filament. 3D printed bodies are pretty sick, because a lot of times it's the only way you can get a very specific thing. So let's say you wanted, like, I don't know, a Ram or a 86 Corolla. You're looking for something specific. A lot of times there's a good chance you can get a 3D printed body. Now, sometimes you do have to just get a 3D file, just a model, and kind of do your own kind of work to make it work as a 3D printable model, but that is always an option. So you can open up the world to so much more different prints or whatever you're looking for, even if it was just an accessory, but you're looking for that very specific accessory. There's a lot of ways to do it, and it's a lot of fun. Let's talk about the bad, because if you're new to the channel, I always talk about the bad so we can talk about the good. The bad is that a lot of the times, it's very fragile. Now, you can print in PETG. PETG is kind of the go-to when it comes to starting off and making something extremely strong. And you can still use a lot of different supports, so it's still easily done. The problem with any of these is that no matter what, you could use polycarbonate, you could use PHT, you could use nylon 12. The problem is you get to a certain point where things like here, where around the window guard, where it gets very, very thin, they're gonna break. It can take a pretty good beating, but eventually it's going to break. And that's kind of the harder part, especially when you get into some of the smaller stuff. Now, you can change some of your settings and give you the best chance possible, but I've had several of this design, specifically the Bog 406, and always right here, it ends up breaking. It's just from rolling, it'll take the impact here and it will push it and it'll crack things. And you can do different things to reinforce it. You can change your settings, you can add walls, you can use gyroid as an infill. There's plenty of things to give you the best chance possible, but just keep in mind that things can break. The other bad is that it can take quite a bit of time, and it can also take quite a bit of filament if you're not careful. Something like this takes 3 rolls. Really, you should buy 4 rolls, but whatever. It'll take 3 rolls. So you're talking, depending on which filament you use and which brand, I mean, that can be anywhere between $40 and $80. It all depends on what you're looking at. So you gotta be careful too. If there's like a Jeep Cherokee 3D model you want to print, but there's an ABS one you can buy, weigh your pros and your cons. Yeah, you could 3D print it if you already have the filament, but just keep that in mind that it might cost you more to 3D print something. Let's do nitpicks. We'll go in the middle, because it's really not bad. It comes with the territory, but for any of the 3D printed parts, get ready to not have screws for them. Everything needs screws. This has 4 M4 screws on the top. This one's got a bunch of M2 screws all over the place. Be ready to need screws. The cool part is that if you go into almost every instructions I've ever seen, they tell you right at the beginning the bill of landing or what you're gonna need for bill of materials, and it'll tell you exactly the screws you need. If you're new, try to find one that has screw sizes all within the same, or at least like you can get a pack on Amazon, because again, you gotta be really careful on that too. All of a sudden, you need 5 different packs or 1 large pack of screws. Well, you just spent $60 on your filament. You're now spending almost $40, or sometimes more, $50. I mean, we're at $110 for the body. So again, just be careful. Try to see what you can do. Of course, most of the time, you're taking a pre-existing vehicle, especially if it's ready to run, you're gonna have some screws. I really didn't have to find too many when I did this, so keep that in mind. Just try to do it the best you can. Be ready for you to accidentally print the orientation wrong, and it's the weakest thing under the sun. And that's something that as you continue to 3D print, you kind of know what you want for your infill, you kind of know what kind of walls you want, you know what kind of material you need. You get better and better as you go and you learn, but that's one thing that you just, no matter what, you gotta have time. So let's talk about the good. The good. Without beating a dead horse about getting specifically what body you want. When something does break, like let's say I broke one of these off, I can reprint just this piece. So what does that mean? It means that when you go and get an ABS body, let's say you got like an Endura, an AU Star, whatever the manufacturer may be, you got an ABS hard body Jeep Cherokee, because that's the big one, the XJ Jeep Cherokees. You've got one of those. If you got to think, okay, let's say I break the grill on it. How do I get another one? And that's huge. And I think that's a huge thing that I've made the mistake of. Now, they're getting a lot better to the point where they will usually have the accessory kits separately, but that's not for every single ABS body you find. Or some people will even take a model kit and make it work on their RC car, but then if something breaks on that, you're in the same boat. You got to go buy another kit. So where 3D printing will really excel is that when you break something, it's very easily fixable. Very, very easily. Here's one of the best goods that even I haven't mastered yet. You can take a 3D printed body, you can sand it down. Sand it, get rid of all the layer lines, smooth it completely out with different levels of sandpaper. So you've got a very smooth body. You can primer it, you can paint it, and you can clear coat it. Even if you do a 2K, and you can get some of the most unbelievably good looking bodies just all around. You don't see any of the layer heights. The body literally looks like somebody had auto painted it. Just unbelievably good work. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I've seen plenty of people do it. I'm good with spray paint, but I'm not that good. But some of the things I've seen are unbelievable. So you can take this small part of the hobby and go absolutely wild with it. You can become your own Van Gogh of making RC bodies. Lastly, the good, you can scale it any way you want. So if you got an RC 4-wheel drive, they may have a really, really thin wheelbase as far as width goes, or whatever may have you. You can scale it down. Maybe it's made for 1/10. Well, you want it for 1/18? You can scale it down. Instead of my 2 cents really, this is gonna be more for your brand spanking new. You're either brand spanking new to 3D printing, or you're brand spanking new and you're gonna be buying the file. A few different things to keep in mind. Be careful about how much you're spending on the filament, like I said. If you're gonna be buying somebody else making the file and you're buying a physical product, be so careful on how you do it. The average really is a lot of the people that are doing it will sell it at $5 per hour. And when they say per hour, what do they mean? That means however long that print takes, that's how much they charge per hour. Now, at a certain point, it gets unreasonable, but some people will still stick to that. Like this was 3 days. It was 3 days and whatever hours. Well, you start putting that times 5, and you're talking hundreds of dollars to have somebody print it. So be very careful. Another thing to keep in mind too is that most of the time the layer heights might be bigger, and it can make you can make the model look pretty bad. One of the big things I try to do is get as low as possible. I always try to shoot under 0.20, especially anything I sell. It's always going to be under 0.20 unless it really just doesn't matter. The whole point of that layer height is the lower layer heights you have, the much better it's going to look because you don't see it as much. Another thing to be careful of is a lot of times they'll just print it in gray, and you will have to sand it, you got to paint it, you got to do all these different things. That's why I always say, try to find a buddy, or at least try to do locally. But a buddy's always your best way to do it. Buy the filament, get them a 20-piece nugs, get them a 6-pack, whatever they like, get them it and have them do it, because at least that way, you can tell them, hey, I really want the layer height lower. Not a problem. Hey, I want it in dual colors. Not a problem. That's the big thing, you know? And if it's a buddy that does want money, I don't know, get them 40. I mean, I would only charge, like, if it was a buddy and they want to give me cash, $40, and I'll print this whole entire thing. I mean, that's really how it works. You know, it's one thing when I'm selling, but if it's somebody I know and it's a buddy and they're not taking no for an answer as far as $40. You buy the materials, $40. You can use the printer for 3 days. I'll print it out and I'll bring it to you. So just be careful though. Another thing to keep in mind too, if you're brand new and you're buying the model, one thing I always do is try to keep the orientation of the body in the same. What do I mean by that? This whole entire front half prints vertically. These doors, guess what? I had to print vertically because I want all the layer lines to be horizontal. Now you can't do that on every single piece, like the roof's gonna be different, but for everything that is on this vehicle as far as the body goes, it was all vertical, purposely, because it looks 10 times better. Now, sometimes you will get an orientation where it won't even matter because it'll be like a 45-degree angle and it will look beautiful no matter how you do it. But try to get it so that the orientation is sideways. You may not get that if you buy it. Look very close at the pictures and make sure you see how it's gonna be, because you're probably gonna get that, or it could be different. They might have changed it, or they might have changed orientations, but try to look at their pictures, try to figure out what you're gonna need to do, because a lot of them just print in gray with really high layer height, and it's not great. There's plenty of people that don't. You just gotta be careful. And be careful how much you're gonna pay too. $80 for a 3D printed TRX4M body is crazy. Just be careful. You know, in worst case, even if you have to go buy the file, you know, a 3D model, edit it, just so that your friend can print it, you are still better off. The more work you can do to make that friend's life easier, the less you, one, have to spend, and two, you will get it exactly the way you want it. And if you want to take a step above and beyond, put that file into a slicer. Put it in the orientations you want and everything. Do all of the work so that when you send it to the friend, all they have to do is print it. Whether it speeds it up or whatever for them, it just makes their life a lot easier and you get exactly what you want. That's the whole point of 3D printing, is so that you can customize it to exactly what you want. If you're new to 3D printing, there's a few settings that you can save everything. You can put PLA in a strength setting. All that really does is it increases the walls and your infill percentage and what type of infill percentage is. So all your slicers will have options. Instead of maybe doing 2 walls, maybe you bump it up to 6, maybe you do 3, maybe you do 4. You're adding an excessive amount of walls that are gonna make it much more beneficial for strength. Next, you're gonna wanna make sure that your infill percentage, the average is usually around 15, bump it up to 25, bump it up to 40. Keep in mind too, your slicer, at least I haven't come across one that can't, you can pick certain layer lines and increase the strength, increase the infill. Now it won't always matter. Like I spoke about this here, this is all walls. So you can't have more infill, you can't get crazy. But for the rest of the body, as long as it's thick enough, you can then go and say, hey, I want maybe a gyroid infill or a 3D hexagonal infill. You can change the infill instead of just being a grid or whatever it may be, whatever your standard settings may be, you can change it. Now, you are gonna usually burn more filament, especially increasing the walls, you're gonna burn more filament no matter what. But you can get a stronger product. You can get a much stronger result. So just be careful about that. But there are those kind of settings that you can change. Change your percentage of infill, change your type of infill, and change the amount of walls. Even with PLA, it is night and day difference. But that's 3D printed bodies. Like I said, they're sick, they're awesome. I love doing them. They're a lot of fun. It's a really cool way to get something super specific. It's a way to take 2 hobbies and combine them. Thank you for watching. If you're from the last one, thank you even more. Good night.